Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the T and Crystal's podcast. I am T.
And I'm Crystal.
Crystal, we back at it this week. The last couple weeks have been a little heavy. We were covering Take Care of Maya, which is, I think we did a very good job. You did a wonderful job of laying that thing out for everybody. I very much enjoy this series. I hope that everybody that listened and watched enjoyed that series as well. I think from the responses that we have gotten, I feel like people did enjoy it.
Yeah.
So kudos to Crystal. Everybody,
Thank you.
Everybody say thank you, Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you.
I gave them a moment to say it to the speakers. Yeah. But we have a very, very fun episode for you all today. We getting off with the jump off this week, and we finna get into some things. Y'all know it's spooky season, so we're gonna start things off with something a little different. But before we get into that, Crystal, how are you?
I'm good. I actually had a pretty fun week, I think. For us at least, not many people, no one else would have seen this, but we actually got our first troll or hater in our Facebook Messenger.
Oh my God.
He was not happy with us at all. But I kept it real nice,
You know what? I'm so sick of you. I am so sick of you because I did not, y'all. I know that she was gonna bring this to the podcast today. Wow, you
I
are
felt
funny.
The need for it because he was our first one, so I'm gonna give a little shout out. I'm not gonna tell him his full name, but Mr. Donald.
Ooh, baby, I'm glad you said that because I almost said his whole government.
I know I'm not gonna do his whole government name, but Mr. Donald, I appreciated your messages. I actually did. I really enjoyed them. I know you didn't mean for that to happen. I enjoy
quality entertainment.
I know. I enjoyed our little discussion. I hope you enjoy the rest of our shows if you keep tuning in. And I hope we bring a little bit of joy to your life,
Yeah. And I hope you enjoy that country fried steak and the mashed potatoes, like I told you, in them DMs. And when them dentures slip, try not to choke. God bless you. God bless you. Y'all, if we, Crystal, we should have edited the DM and shown it, because the shit that Donald was saying to us, y'all, was out of pocket. Like he was talking about Lucifer was finna violate orifices. Like Mr. Donald was wilding.
And I showed him love.
And you know what? You showed him every color of the rainbow. That's an inside joke between me and Crystal. She know exactly what I mean when I
just had a feeling. I had a feeling.
And you struck a nerve.
I did. I might have. I didn't mean to. I was just spreading the love. The
love. Okay. So shout out big downs to Mr. Donald.
But you know what? As the podcast grows, as we get more listeners, followers, blah, 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 there's always going to be someone. There's going to be someone we made mad, someone who has a different opinion, but doesn't know how to express it in, mature way. So we might be able to do an episode where we just kind of edit that stuff and able to show people
that would be so fun.
What we have to deal with. But I me and Timmy take very different approaches. I try not to let them get me down, and I just try to I truly mean them in the most positive of ways when I'm answering. So.
And I tend to want to slit your throat and block you. So, because Crystal, she'll give you the most loving, sarcastic response and let you stay there.
Yeah,
I won't. I want your lineage to suffer to eternity, and I want you out of my life forever. So that's the difference.
Yeah,
I
because I want
think.
you to know, Donald, I was not the one who blocked you. You
Yeah,
were
it was
more than
me. No,
welcome
no,
to
no, no, no,
continue.
no. I did not block Donald. I banned Donald. Okay, Donald, I want you to understand the difference. I banned you. Okay,
Mhm.
and the only level up from that is banishment. Okay, Donald, and you lucky I don't have that authority. I'm gonna have to talk to Mr. Meta about giving me the privileges so I can banish your ass. Come up in my DMs again. I swear for God, Donald. Listen, I'm about to get. Y'all about to get me worked up. Y'all about to get me worked up in here.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right, so you've got some new stuff for us this week.
I sure do, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen. We
excited.
are in the midst of spooky season. You know, I was about to say Goobers, like SpongeBob. You remember Goofy, Goober, Goober? Have you ever seen the SpongeBob movie?
No, because I'm 33.
I won't say my age. But I'm young enough to have enjoyed SpongeBob quite a lot. So shout out to all my people who are the real SpongeBob lovers. Goofy, Goober, Goober, yeah. You wouldn't get that, Crystal.
No.
Uh,
If you gave me a Rugrats reference or a Doug reference or something like
and you
that.
know what? I was just on the outside of Doug, but I was in the midst of Rugrats. Doug was a little before my time, but Rugrats, I was just in time for when Tommy almost killed Dill out there in the woods. You remember the episode when Tommy was about to kill Dill? Is that where they got Kill Bill from? Kill? Anyway, he was about to murder that baby in the woods. I just want y'all to understand that. I don't know if I ruined y'all childhood. Please don't show y'all children that movie. You will traumatize your children because it traumatized me. I'm like, how you gonna murder this baby out here amongst the trees? Like, after seeing Pocahontas, I thought we were supposed to be one with the wind, not, you was about to send his spirit with the wind. Oh my God. But yes, y'all, we finna get into some things. I think one of the scariest things, other than, goblins and ghosts and, Bigfoot and the abominable snowman and shit like that, swamp monsters, vampires. I think the scariest thing here on earth that actually exists, fuck a lion and a tiger and a bear. I'm scared of a Florida man. Okay? Florida men have done so much damage to this country. It's unfathomable. And I thought that I should bring a couple of stories to you all just to share what the hell is going on down there in DeSantis land. Just scare the hell out you for the Halloween season. So if you'll follow along with me, I have a couple of stories to share with you.
Okay, I'm
The
excited with this
first of which,
because it's true. It's actually funny because I want to say it was actually a couple years ago that the name, like the tag Florida man, kind of went viral a little bit because there's so many different stories of a Florida man happening, like things that happen in Florida, like don't seem to make it big anywhere else. Like we don't really see it happening
it's
anywhere else.
so crazy. I think it's so much going on in Florida, and it's all so crazy that only the craziest stuff makes it to the surface. Because otherwise, the news would just be Florida man.
Right. Exactly. So I'm
the
excited to hear this.
First story goes like this: Florida man I have to not laugh. Okay. Florida man reminds fellow Taco Bell customers they're in Florida after pulling gun on them in a parking lot. Yeah, y'all heard it right. We pulling guns in parking lots in Florida at the Taco Bell. Ding.
That's the spot. That's where you go.
Listen, because I have not resided in the U.S. for a couple of years now, but that is one of I think that may be number 2 of fast food restaurants that I miss.
Right.
It's real close for number 2, that and Popeyes, because that Popeyes chicken sandwich is enough for me to pull a Tommy. Okay. Let's see. A boat captain in Florida is facing 2 felony charges after allegedly threatening to kill a couple at a Taco Bell and telling them, "You're in Florida." That's enough of the story for me right there. He
Did
knows his
they
reputation.
did they not know they were in Florida?
They were, well, if they didn't know, he was there to remind them.
Okay.
This is, I mean, to be a boat captain in Florida, it does not get too much more stereotypical than that. But let's continue. According to the Key West Police Department, on October 7th, 52-year-old Jonathan Michael Mashburn. That sounds like a, you know what? I almost got us canceled. Was allegedly attempting to back his SUV into a parking spot in the fast food lot, according to news outlet WPLG. A man and a woman were sitting in their truck ordering food online in the parking lot next to the one Mr. Marshburn was attempting to park in, according to police. The woman in the truck reportedly rolled her window down to tell Marshburn he was about to hit their vehicle. Marshburn allegedly yelled, "What's your fucking problem? You've got the high beams on," after parking his SUV, according to a police report reviewed by the outlet. The couple in the truck then flashed the high beams on and off to show Mashburn. The intense lights were not on, which caused Mashburn to allegedly draw his weapon. "You know where you're at," police said Mashburn asked the couple after allegedly pulling out a black semi-automatic pistol. "I'll fucking kill you. You're in Florida." Child. The man in the truck then pulled out his phone and recorded Mashburn, who fled the scene after he realized he was on camera, according to the police. He was confronted about the incident by law enforcement later. Mashburn reportedly told the police that the two in the truck had pulled a gun on him first, but recanted his allegation, according to the police, per WPLG. What are you doing pulling a whole gun in the Taco Bell parking lot?
Why are you so mad? Why are you so angry? Like, if these people were telling you you're about to hit them, like, "Oh, okay, let me readjust." Like, and what is you? We're in Florida, so that means you can hit me? What?
Let me tell you something. Like, the fact that he recognizes that "you're in Florida" is a threat,
Right?
tells me everything that I need to know about the state of Florida. Like, that's crazy to be like, "You're in Florida," and I'm supposed to know that's a threat. Like,
Right.
I don't know what it is with people in Florida. I don't know if it's the meth. I don't know if it's, the sun. I don't know
Right.
if it's the fear of crocodiles, snatching your ass up off the side of a river somewhere every day. I don't understand what it is that make Florida people crazy.
I don't, just go get your 99-cent taco and be happy.
Now, we're not gonna go there with Taco Bell because Taco Bell is okay. Let me use what I learned from Dora the Explorer, the OG Spanish teacher. Delicioso. Yeah,
I do
yeah,
like
yeah.
Taco Bell. I do.
What's your favorite thing from the Taco Bell?
I usually get the it's like the crunch wrap where it's like the taco, but it has the crunch one.
You know
The
what?
gordita
I've
crunch.
never had it.
I
Gordita
like the gordita crunch.
crunch.
Yeah.
See, I am a chalupa person.
I do like the chalupas too.
Yeah, it's I think literally the only time that I eat beef. I don't eat beef,
Yeah,
but I'm about to switch to chicken. But the beef one is so good.
it
And I
is. And
always add nacho cheese.
I've tried the chicken chalupa. It's not the same. It's
It's
not.
not the same.
No. Well,
Why
and
don't they
it
have a
wasn't like
pork option?
I know. It wasn't like I wanted the chicken. It's like I ordered the beef and they gave me the chicken. I was like, well, and it wasn't the same. It didn't hit.
It's something
So.
about that cat meat that they put in. It's something about that cat meat that they mince up and put in there with that nacho cheese, with that Would
Well,
that?
and I like it. I kind of like merge the two. I like doing my chalupa with the beef, but I like to
Oh.
put the like gordita crunch sauce, that like ranch, that spicy ranch type sauce they have
Mm-hmm.
in it. But sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I can hear the annoyance by asking for that, so I just get the gordita crunch.
Oh no, I'm the one in the line that is zhuzhing things up. Can I
Yeah.
get a Doritos Locos Tacos Supreme? Nix the Locos, keep the tacos. No onions, no tomato, add nacho cheese. And if you got that armadillo meat y'all keep in the bag, go ahead and sprinkle that armadillo meat over the top because it adds a little je ne sais quoi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just me.
I like
That's
to be a
just
little
me.
simple, but I also, my other favorite thing there is the cheesy fiesta potatoes when they're nice and hot and they first came out with the cheese and the
Crystal.
sour cream. So good.
In the last few years, I think this was a Twitter thing that taught me that that was a thing. I
I
did
think
not
I
know that was a
no.
thing.
I think I told you that
Did you tell me that?
at work. Yes.
Because I didn't know it was a thing
I know,
before.
because you were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you talking about?" And I told you about it, and you were like, your mind was like blown. You were like, "I got to go to Taco Bell."
Because I love a potato and sour
Mhm.
cream. Oh,
Mhm.
baked, fried, broiled, I don't
Mhm.
care. Boiled, I don't care what you do to it. Give me a potato, give me sour cream. It's a done deal for me.
Yep.
Them hoes hit.
They do. They're so good.
And that Baja Blast. Okay, I gotta stop. I gotta stop. I gotta
Cuz you
stop. I
don't
gotta
have a
stop.
Taco Bell.
Because I'm gonna get out there and try to resurrect that little chihuahua. You remember the mascot? The little chihuahua that
No
used to be on the
quiero Taco
commercials?
Bell.
You, say it 3 times. It's Friday the 13th when we're recording this,
It's
y'all. Oh my
yes.
God. We literally had 1 minute. Say it 3 times.
You have 1 minute. I still got a whole 6 hours to
Oh, you
go.
still. Oh shit! Yeah, I got 1 minute. Oh yeah. Sorry. I was trying to resurrect the little Taco Bell dog. I got excited. Sorry. Okay. Speaking of ghosts, let's get on. Ooh, that was very dark for this next story, actually.
Oh.
Sorry, y'all. Okay. On to the next Florida man goblin. This story is entitled Florida Man Stabs Kills His Brother's Friend After He Wasn't Given a Chance to Smoke Weed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Deltona, Florida. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office released a video showing deputies arresting a suspect accused of stabbing a 21-year-old man to death following an argument over marijuana. Joseph McDonald, 31, of Deltona, is facing a charge of first-degree murder and will be held in jail without bond, authorities said. Deputies said a witness and the victim went to their friend's house on Glen Ridge Terrace Sunday morning to smoke marijuana. Something about this weed is tickling me. The fact that he was going over there to smoke marijuana. Sorry. Their friend was not there, but his brother, McDonald, was. Officials said McDonald let them into the home, but eventually became angry when he was not given a chance to smoke and threatened to kill the victim. The witness said that he was in the garage when an argument began to escalate between McDonald and the victim. He heard the two fighting inside the home, and shortly after, the victim came outside, bleeding from the abdomen, asking for someone to call 911. He was rushed to a hospital where he died. God bless. At the hospital, an examination of the victim's body revealed that he had been stabbed. McDonald left the area and was later spotted around 1:15 p.m. First of all, why did y'all come over the house, smoke weed, get stabbed and die, and he fled all before 1 o'clock in the afternoon? Priorities. Um, he was later spotted around 1:15 p.m. coming out of the brush along Newark Drive, about 3 miles from the crime scene. McDonald was found bleeding with an injury to his left hand, which hospital officials said appeared to be lacerations from a sharp object. Investigators said McDonald had been living at the home for about 2 months and had been experiencing significant mental illness for multiple years.
I believe that because over some weed, like, come on. This is the kind of behavior that people who are like on meth exhibit for not getting their fix, but weed.
Over some weed, Crystal.
Right.
He didn't get a chance to smoke the weed.
Right. I figured it had to be some sort of mental. There had to have been some sort of mental thing here because.
But I'm like, if y'all there in his house and y'all there for the brother, but the brother ain't there.
Right.
Y'all was planning on smoking with a third person anyway. Why not let him hit the blunt?
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe he had meth mouth and they won't.
Yeah, we don't get the full story with these articles, so.
And you know what? They tend to leave out the hard drugs in these articles. So
yeah.
I had to fill y'all in on what the hell is going on in Florida. If you're planning on going to Florida anytime soon, just go to Google and type in Florida man.
Yeah.
And see what comes up. Because there are literally like 10 new stories every day.
There's so many Florida man like type stories. I'm definitely going to look for my own Florida because there's some
absolutely
wild ones. Like not just serious ones, but actually some funny ones, like some stupid funny ones. So I'm definitely going to find some of those.
Oh, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
It will this may be today.
Yeah. It may become a recurring segment. Subject for us. Yeah, a recurring segment.
Yeah.
But Krista, you have something good for us coming up. I'm excited to hear what this is.
I do. I have you know what? I kept telling you this is a today I fucked up, but it is actually an Am I the Asshole story. My bad.
Okay.
But I have an Am I the Asshole story. I read this a while ago and I've been really excited to share this with Timmy. Because while on the surface, for all of us who are on the outside of it, it's actually pretty funny. That doesn't negate the fact that someone did their feelings did get hurt from this story. So I don't want to diminish that. Like, it's kind of sad how they found out about all this. But on the surface, it's funny. So
why would you set it up like that? You about to make me look like a monster.
I know, because you are
like a monster.
I know, because I found this hilarious. But then you read the comments and you read the deepness of it, and you're like, oh, like you feel kind of bad about it. But it does have a hopeful ending to it. So I do have, not only do I have this story, but I also have an update to it.
Okay.
So, and mind you, when I read this, the resolution of this story, the reason this person got an answer was from the comments, which is why so after I finish reading it, I'm going to read some of the comments and I'm going to read the comment that got her the answer that she didn't realize she was looking for.
And I will refrain from comment.
Okay. Okay, this is, am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law that no one in our family is named Stephanie? This story says, I can't figure out if I did anything wrong, or if so, what, because I honestly have no idea what's going on. Hopefully someone here can give me a clue. Here's the relevant info as far as I know. My brother and his wife are expecting their first girl after 2 boys. I love Ricky and Jace, and so does my sister-in-law, but she has always wanted a girl and is very excited to be having one. She always wanted to name the girl Chloe, as she loves that name. My brother hates the name Chloe and really wants to name their daughter Stephanie. They have been arguing about it for a few weeks since finding out the gender. I got to my parents' house late last night, and my sister-in-law was the only person still awake. We talked for a little bit, and she asked me the weirdest question. She asked me if I knew any stories about great aunt Stephanie. I was so confused. I literally said, who? Sister-in-law clarified that she was talking about our grandmother's older sister that died when grandma was a little girl. Our grandma had 2 sisters, but their names were Judy and Lynn. There's no one in our family named Stephanie as far as I know. I told as much to my sister-in-law. She changed the subject after that, and we soon went to bed. This morning, my brother and his wife were both sulking during breakfast. Even the kids could tell. Ricky kept saying, "Stop being grumpy on Christmas." So it wasn't just my imagination. I got my brother alone and confronted him. He snapped at me for meddling and told me to stay out of his marriage. My brother is pissed at me, and my sister-in-law won't even talk to me. I'm afraid to say anything to my parents and drag them into this, especially since I don't know what this is. Either my grandmother had a secret sister that I don't know about, but my brother does for some reason, or my brother lied to his wife to convince her to name their baby Stephanie. Both options seem equally weird to me. Maybe there's a third possibility I'm not seeing. Reddit, am I the asshole? If so, please explain to me why. I don't want to be the reason Christmas is ruined.
I am so confused. Like, sir, why are you upset at your wife for telling this lady the truth? Like, I am very confused. Like,
Right.
where did she go wrong? Like, who is this
Right.
mystery Stephanie lady?
Right.
Like, and it's your grandma's. It was a grandma's sister.
Yes. That's
I
what
don't
they're
know a
saying.
bitch like that. Like, what? Like, what you and stop meddling in your marriage. Okay, well, I guess I will. Like, I don't know what
Right.
is happening.
Right.
And how dare you snap at me? Like, I'm supposed to know what the hell is going on.
Right. So some in the comments said, "Not the asshole. How can you be expected to keep track of other people's fibs that you know nothing about? And are these the only two names these people know? They both clearly like the EE ending. So what about?" And then she lists a bunch of names. The girl replied, "My brother's
Kaylee,
right." She said
Riley,
like Bethany, Cicely, Clarity, Clemency, stuff like that. My brother thinks,
Clemency.
look,
Okay, that's a stretch.
she said, "My brother thinks Stephanie is the perfect name and hates any suggestion that isn't that. He picked Ricky's and Jace's names. So my sister-in-law feels it's her turn, and I'm somewhat inclined to agree,
Fair.
even though it isn't my place to say so, to pick, and my brother should accept what she likes." Let's see. Someone said that your brother is freaking out because any name but Stephanie will ruin the little theme he has going on here. I don't know why your sister-in-law is not talking to you. She asked you a question, you answered honestly, and your brother either lied to you or lied to her. He's the asshole here. You didn't meddle. She brought the conversation up organically. Someone says, "Does your brother generally treat your sister-in-law well, or does he seem to be the type that could be abusive? That would be possible reason I see for sister-in-laws to stop talking to you over this." Someone said, "My brother adores his wife," or she says, "My brother adores his wife. They're always joking around and doing fun things together, either as a couple or with the kids. This weird, sulking, not fight is the most contentious I've ever seen this relationship." So,
I'm not understanding where this Stephanie stuff is coming from.
right.
Like,
I'm going to get to
why
that.
do I got to get thrown under the bus for you want to name it? Why can't you just
Which is
tell your
exactly
wife?
why she was so confused.
Yeah.
So a lot of people comment on this.
Mhm.
Halfway through the commenting, someone goes, "Your brother." This is where the real information came out. Because she keeps saying that, she was answering people as frequently as she can. She was like, "I just don't understand. I don't understand what the conflict is." He's just very adamant that this is what he wants to name them. She tells him that he named the first two boys because she didn't have opinions on boys' names. She really couldn't find one that she just loved. And so when for their firstborn, which is Jason, she couldn't figure out. She was just like, "Oh, okay, I like Jason, it's fine." And she didn't have anything to counter, so she just was like, "Okay, fine, we'll name him Jason." And then when the second brother came, whose name is Ricky, again, I think they named him Richard.
Jason?
she was like, again, she couldn't find a name that she really loved, but she didn't hate Richard. So she was just like, all right, if you, and he was really insistent to name him Richard after that. So she was like, all right, well, if you really like this name, go for it. We'll name him Richard. So now that it's a girl, she has a name that she's really liked, which is Chloe. So she feels because he got to name the first two that she should be able to name them Chloe. And he is insistent. It has to be Stephanie. So finally, after all of this, someone finally answered the real answer. So someone said, your brother is a comics fan, right? Is he by any chance a big Batman fan? Because I'm seeing a kind of pattern with these names. She replied, yeah, big time. How did you know? He replies, let's just say if this baby had been a boy, he would have suggested Tim. She said, that was the name he wanted if they were having a boy. How did you know that? This is where he replied to her, these are all the names of former Robins, as in Batman and Richard Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, and Damian Wayne.
Divorce. You not finna bring that nerd shit on my front door and gaslight me in the process. If you gonna bring that nerd shit to this household, you gonna have to be upfront with it. You got to tell me from jump. You not finna leave me in the dark and gaslight me into thinking that I'm crazy for wanting to choose my child's name. Are you crazy? And who the hell is gonna understand other than this nerd on Reddit? What the hell you trying to get at with these names? Because I was over here, could you see the wheels moving in my brain? I was like,
yes.
Richard, Stephanie. Like, I was trying to figure out what the hell. You could have told me if I guessed it right, I get $1 billion and I would be broke as hell for the rest of my life. There is absolutely no way I would have ever gotten it.
She replied to him, I'm going to confirm this on Wikipedia, but if you're right, and I can't imagine why you would make that up, my brother is about to be in so much trouble.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So she actually had a couple of updates. So she did update the original post with just a quick thing. She said, update, most awkward Christmas Eve dinner ever. Gotta keep this short. Lots going on. Everyone now knows what my brother was doing with his kids' names, except the kids, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
They are pissed. Weirdly, my mom is the most pissed. A Christmas truce is in place for the kids, so no fighting on the holiday. However,
not a Christmas truce.
The baby is definitely going to be named Chloe. My brother very quickly backed down when my mom said some few choice words to him. The topic is completely banned for the rest of festivities. So for now, at least they've tied a bow on the situation. Then she had a Christmas morning update. Aside from some glaring over a couple of the boys' stocking stuffers, i.e., one of them got a Robin Funko Pop, everything went well with the gift opening, as well as being woken up at 5:30 by being jumped on by one of my nephews. I think my brother realizes he crossed the line and has been very attentive to his wife. He mentioned getting Chloe's name embroidered on some stuff when they get home. He even told mom he would do the Christmas breakfast so she could have a break, and he gave me an I'm sorry grin when I opened his gift. I think everything's going to be fine.
No, absolutely not. You were letting this man get off way too easy. A grin? You're going to take a grin as an apology for this man throwing you under the bus? Absolutely not. Y'all need to have a serious conversation, because for me, over something so trivial, that'd be enough for me to cut you off for at least 6 months. I'm sorry about it. And as the wife, for you to scheme on me like this over some stupid ass comic names when you could have just told me the truth, I have to reevaluate the whole situation, because if you lying to me about stupid shit like this, what else are you lying to me about? What are you not telling me the truth about? And these are children's names. And you just telling me all willy-nilly, oh, I like this name, da 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 da. Whole time you got the goddamn Teen Titan squad in my house. I'm ready to fight. I am ready to fight. I'm ready to fight now. And these ain't my kids. First of all, the fact that this all happened around Christmas and now you done made Christmas awkward. That line of him giving her a smirk, an apology smirk, or whatever the hell she called it when he opened the gift from, you wouldn't have got no gift from me. You wouldn't have got no gift from me. We would have sat across from each other. I would have sat on one side of the tree and you would have sat at the other. And you would have got a gift from everybody but me. And when you looked up to me to figure out what the hell your gift was, we would have been staring directly. Y'all ever seen that meme of Diddy and that man when they was on that singing show and it was that would have been the listeners of the podcast, go and look at us on YouTube. We did that shit perfect. We did that shit perfect. That would have been me and him. Cause ain't no way on earth you would have got nothing from me. You wouldn't have got a hey, hello, Merry Christmas. I was about to say in Danish. I mean, you wouldn't have got a good tithing from me or a good cheer. Okay. You would have been lucky if I. Never mind, I ain't gonna say all that.
So I have an update that she did. She did update. My brother tricked his wife into naming their kids after robins. She goes, I told Mikey and his wife that I posted on Reddit. Mikey was confused that I figured out what he was doing because he knows I have no interest in comics. So I sent both of them the post. Mikey was really embarrassed when he read what many of you said. Mikey is playful and loves his kids more than anything. Our family has always been one to tolerate small, short-term white lies for the sake of harmless pranks. However, Mikey's lie wasn't small, short-term, or harmless. He hurt his wife's feeling deeply. Mikey says, and sister-in-law confirmed, that he was never insistent about naming my oldest nephew Richard. There were other names he suggested, but she liked Richard, so they picked it. Mikey spends a lot of time with Ricky. He often takes him to job sites and lets Ricky pretend to be his assistant. He has this playful thing with Ricky that he's Mikey's sidekick, and they're a team. It's sweet. Here endeth the sweetness. When my sister-in-law was pregnant again, Mikey wanted to replicate the Robin thing. He wanted to name this son after the next Robin, Jason. My sister-in-law, so I guess Richard was the oldest. My sister-in-law wasn't as big a fan of the name, but she also didn't have a name she loved. Mikey was very persistent about the name, so she decided it was fine. He never told her why he wanted the name, just said he really liked it. My sister-in-law said to him and to me as well, she doesn't have a problem with the fact that he got the name from a comic book. She gets what the meaning is to him, and even though she doesn't like comics and she does think it's cute, her issue is that he lied by omission. Even though she wouldn't have cared about the name, he lied just in case she might have. And if it had been something she wouldn't have approved of, she would want to have been able to say no. However, this she would have not been too mad about. The lie of omission became an active lie when he made up a family member to convince her of the name of the next Robin, Stephanie, when there was a girl named she loved, Chloe. That's not a small lie for a cute break. Even though Mikey was defensive initially, after they had a private conversation this morning, he realized how wrong he was and apologized. My sister-in-law said he was very sincere, and Mikey has never been good at faking sincerity. He feels very bad for taking advantage of her trust. He feels even worse that it involved their children. This whole thing has soured my sister-in-law on the name Chloe. Now it only reminds her of the fight and hurt. She wants to come up with a completely new name, maybe one related to her hobby, like Mallory or Rita. She's going to take some time to not think about it. Their marriage isn't in danger, but a wound is there. Now that Mikey has admitted fault, he can heal, and it will with time. If you learn anything from Mikey, learn that everyone makes mistakes. If someone truly loves you, they can usually forgive you. However, to earn that forgiveness, you have to admit to what you did, not double down and try to trick your way out of it.
Boom. I'm glad that they eventually got to what my issue was immediately. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that you would go to that link to lie to me and manipulate me and strip me of my chance to really rebut your opinion, like,
Mm-hmm.
that's too calculated for me. Like, you
Yeah.
thought through every scenario and you were like, how can I manipulate this situation to get the outcome that I want? And it played out exactly. The only variable that you did not calculate was the sister
Yeah.
and these people on Reddit. You could
Right.
have never calculated that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't that would probably lead to divorce for me. I don't know. I'm very if y'all may have seen a thread from me throughout these different scenarios and stuff. One thing I cannot deal with is you lying to me in my face when I know that it's a lie and
Mm-hmm.
trying to manipulate me. Like that's the premeditation of it
Mm-hmm.
is what pisses me off the most.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I think I do. I would side with the wife in this. While I would feel very hurt and I would be really upset about the lie by omission and stuff like that, and the fact that he didn't trust me enough to tell me, because it's not like he went into it from the beginning thinking he was going to name all his kids after this. He just struck it with Richard, and then when Jason came along and she didn't really object to it and she was just like, all right, whatever, then a theme happened when you had both of the kids like that. So it's not like he from the beginning he was like, oh, I want my kids to be named after a comic book character.
Mhm.
So it didn't start malicious, and I don't even think it was malicious in general. No offense to guys, but they don't really think that these things are that serious or that it's going to hurt us the way that they do. And it isn't until we do get hurt and they see how we react that they're like, this wasn't okay. No, it wasn't.
Exactly.
So I don't
Mhm.
think I would be with the wife where I would be hurt, but it would be something I would be able to get over. Um, it would be something I would have to work through, but it would be
Mm.
something, because it's not like, I mean, I guess in terms of things that he could have lied about, it's, finding out he was naming our kids secretly after Robin characters, and not that he has a secret family with
Mhm.
3 or 4 other kids. I guess that's where I'm like, this is probably something, there could be a worst case scenario here.
But see, for me, I don't think it's necessarily the lie itself. Like the fact that, you were naming him after Batman comic books, I don't give a shit about that. It's the fact that you really like concocted this plan behind my back and you executed it well because I fell
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
That's the type of shit that I will wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and I wouldn't be able to go back to sleep about. Because then I'm
Yeah.
like, what else could you be lying about? Like, what
Yeah.
else could you be concocting behind my back that I'm believing that is really just a facade? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I I can't deal with somebody just manipulating me like that. Like,
Yeah.
what is my reality? If you take my reality away from me, like, and especially about your children, like to find out that you thought the naming of your children was one way and whole time you were being manipulated.
Yeah. This
Mm-mm.
this would definitely be a couples therapy moment for us. But like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I would be able to give up on a relationship completely. I would believe that I could work through it, and I would want to do the therapy to make sure it is something that I could work through. But
I
I
commend you.
understand I can understand where you're coming from. This could be a deal
Mm-hmm.
breaker for a lot of people, but you have 2 kids and you've put on all this effort into this marriage. And before this,
Mm-hmm.
there doesn't seem to have been really any real issues. And the sister did mention that he's often playful and he probably does do little silly pranks and so for me to know my husband, I would probably
Mm-hmm.
know, he didn't, like I said, he didn't mean it maliciously. But you are seeing him in a new light. So
Mm-hmm.
again, this
Mm-hmm.
would be something I would have to bring we would have to be going to couples therapy for this.
And you know what?
But
I think this goes back to the yin and yang that you and I have. Because this is the other side of the coin. This is the
yeah.
other side of the coin.
Yeah.
Where in these situations, you are so much more willing to see it through, to be like, you know what? Let me consider both sides. Where me,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have to talk me off the ledge. Because
Yeah.
I'm ready to end it all. Like, well,
Yeah.
not me, but I'm ready to end this relationship. Because you ain't got to worry about that. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I'm ready to end this relationship. I'm ready to end the friendship. Like, you have to talk me back from that. Because that's where
Yeah.
I'm starting.
Yeah.
I'm starting with everything is over.
Yeah.
And you have to do some work to get me back from that point, because if you do it once, you'll do it again.
Yeah. I will
And
say
I have to keep you at arm's length.
if it had been something like cheating, I am very big on not cheating. Like, that is a hard no for me. So if I found out my partner had cheated on me, that's pretty much I don't think I could ever come back from that. That would be a hard no for me. No matter how many years we've put into this, no matter how many kids we have, I would never be able to look at you the same. I would never be able to. Every time you left the house, I would wonder, is he going
Where
to
the
cheat?
hell
Every
you
time
going?
every time you're on the phone, I'm going to think, who are you texting? Who are you sending pictures to? Like, oh, that girl you're talking to, do you actually know her? Or I would, and that's not fair to either of us, for
Yeah.
me to be putting that on you and for you to be making me think this stuff. That would be a hard no for me. But something like this, yeah, I would be willing to try to work things out. But so it's a little bit of a happy ending, a little bit not. Guys, don't, if you want, girls, there's a lot of things that we will compromise on. Like, I really think if he had brought it up and been like, look, you don't seem to like any other names, and I'm such a big fan of comic books, like, or I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan or a big Harry Potter fan. Like, a lot of girls find those nerdy stuff cute, and they might be willing to compromise on that stuff. So don't just immediately be like, no, she's never going to do it.
And you have to have
you might
enough
be surprised.
humility to, because before, when my wife and I have been talking about names and stuff for kids, I have definitely brought up names that I have loved forever, and she was immediately like, hell no. And I was like, oh, and I'll put that. Like, it was nothing for me to be like, you
Cry
know
about
what? I'll cry about that later.
Right.
It's just not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But you have to have enough humility to take that on. And it's the fact that I don't know if he was selfish, I don't know what the description is of whatever manipulative. I don't know what it is to describe what he was doing. But he was so like stuck in, it's going to be my way. Like, I don't give a shit what this lady thinks who's carrying these kids. Like, I want this thing, and I'm going to have this thing by any means. But we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. I ain't finna beat this dead horse no more. Crystal, we got time for one more.
One more. Okay.
One more. We finna get into it. This is another Am I the Asshole? Hold on, y'all. I don't remember what this one is called, because I had to rewrite this one. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. It's 12:31 in the morning over here, and I don't have time to go find the title. So I'm gonna make one up because I had to rewrite this because this person wrote like they had fingers made of Play-Doh. So I had to rewrite it. So I'm gonna entitle this one, Am I the asshole for leaving my daughter-in-law out of a trip because she's obese?
Oh.
We're gonna call it. And you know what? If I looked it up, it would actually be pretty close. So I'm gonna give you the actual post and then I'm gonna give you an update immediately after, okay?
Okay.
So the original poster says this. I will try to keep this short. I have 3 girls and we still like to do girl trips for the day. My son got married to a girl named Beth. Now, before her first kid, she was average weight, and after, it got a lot worse. Her kid is only 8 years old at this point, and she hasn't lost the weight. It's been bad enough that she needs constant breaks while walking. I used to like her, but now I don't due to how she acts. That line takes me out every time. I used to like her, but now you remember Maury.
Yes.
That's a very Maury line.
Yeah.
You remember when them little girls used to be like, I used to play hopscotch, but now I fuck my stepdad every weekend. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Slow up, Elizabeth.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, she said, I used to like her, but now I don't due to how she acts. Everywhere we go with her, she constantly complains that she is tired. The last girl's trip to the mall was spent sitting on the bench half the day since she needed constant breaks. If you try to leave, she will go on about us abandoning her. It's annoying. I invited the girls to go to a farm for a pumpkin patch and to pick some apples. It's a big orchard with tons of walking. She went, it was a great time, and we posted some pictures on Facebook. I got a call from, we went, and it was a great time when we posted some pictures on Facebook. I got a call from Beth asking why she wasn't invited. I lied, saying it was just a family trip, but she accused me of lying. I had enough and told her the truth. I almost added something just then, and it was about to be terrible. I had enough and told her the truth. I told her she wasn't invited due to her weight, that she forces us to stop all of the time, and it ruins the trips most days since we don't get to do half the stuff we plan to do. She called me a jerk and hung up. I'm getting texts from my son saying to apologize, but the girls are on my side and are sick of having trips ruined since we have to wait for her all the time. And this is the update because I guess they were eating her up in the comments. She said, we have done plenty of things that are not physically taxing on her, but even the small stuff causes her to end up on the bench half the day. For example, we went to a small mall. Half the day was spent on the bench. It was window shopping. Sorry. Woo! We're almost there, y'all. She is obese. Her ankles are swollen from her weight. The connection between her weight and not walking far without a break is very obvious. Am I the asshole? Get her. Get her.
I might go against what most people will say. I'm going to say that everyone sucks here.
Okay, I can see it.
Because, I can understand having that person that kind of drags your group down. And I can understand being that person who doesn't fit in with the group. God, I don't know how to word this. It's like it's wrong that you're punishing her for for being overweight, like you've been having this emotion building, this resentment building. But have you guys ever stopped to ask, like, is there a medical condition? Is there something wrong? People just think that if you're overweight, oh, it means you eat too much, you're lazy, you never do
Mm-hmm.
anything. And they don't understand that sometimes there could be a medical reason why some of this stuff is happening, especially because um she was average before she got pregnant, and then after she had a child, she couldn't seem to get back down to her normal weight. That's not normal. So instead of trying to, I don't know, sympathize with her or see if there's an underlying issue, you just let your resentment grow and grow and grow. And eventually it made it so that you don't even like her anymore. And isn't this her daughter-in-law? This is her daughter-in-law.
This is her daughter-in-law. This
So
is her daughter-in-law.
this is a family member, and this is someone who
Mm-hmm.
you had a relationship with, and now it's damaged because you didn't take any time to have any sympathy for her, to figure out if there was anything wrong, to figure out if there was something that could be done. Now, on the other hand, if you are at a point where your weight is causing you to not be able to do things, where you're spending half the day on the bench, and then you're upset because people don't want to wait around for you, like, that's, they shouldn't have to wait around for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Get your
up to
ass up.
you. It's up to you to either fight through that or figure out how to accommodate, figure out what's wrong, figure out if there's something that can be done. I don't know, it's such a delicate situation, but I understand completely the hurt she must have been feeling to see those pictures of everybody else, and then for the mother-in-law to be like, oh, it was a family event. What the hell am I? I'm your daughter-in-law. Like, now you're lying
Mm-hmm.
to me, and now you're telling me, oh, you don't even like me anymore is because of my weight, you know
Yeah, I think that's the most messed up part through this letter is the line of demarcation where she liked her and where she didn't like her was when she gained weight. Like,
Right.
girl, people can't help. There are so many women who have children, gain the weight, and then find it extremely hard to lose that weight after they have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's natural. Like, that comes with the territory.
Yeah.
I think it's disgusting, especially as a lady who has, multiple, at least 4 children, you know, to treat her daughter-in-law that way. I mean, I don't know, because I'm like, how much weight did she gain
Yeah,
for her to be?
there's
Because like you saying, like, it must be something. It must be an underlying issue. Maybe she has long COVID or something where she can't really catch her breath
well,
like that.
no, it could. I mean, she could have peacocks. She could. There's a multiple of things that could happen. But my thing is, I wonder, because this is from the mother-in-law's perspective, how much of it is exaggerated too. Like, is she
Yeah.
really not able to spend,
Mhm.
any sort of amount of time walking? Is she really spending most of her time on a bench? Or do you just feel that
Mm.
way because you don't have a problem doing whatever it is, whatever activity you're doing? Like, one of the first activities
Mhm.
she brought up was hiking or something like that. Well, girl, that is a physical activity.
Yeah.
There are some people, even who aren't overweight, who would have trouble with certain hiking paths. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand this from both sides, and I still think both sides were handled poorly. Like,
Mm.
I've always been a bigger person, and I know what it's like to be in a group setting and to be left behind. I'll never
Mm.
forget, I traveled abroad with a group of people. None of them were any real. We had won something, so we were all traveling, but none of them were anyone
Mm.
that I really hung out with, that I really knew. Um, and our hotel was 2 miles away from the event where the event was taking place. It was a film festival. So we had to walk to the venue to see it, to know where it's at, to understand where things were going to be because we were in a whole other country. And then we had to walk
Mm.
back. So that's 4 miles. And for me at the time, I mean, anytime that's a big deal for me. So, we walked
Mm.
over there, we looked around, and then we were walking back. And my little legs, I have never been a fast walker. I've never been someone who takes long strides. And I'm not gonna lie, I always thought it was because I had little legs, but I've seen little girls with their little legs be power walking like it's no tomorrow. I don't get it because it's never been me.
Mm.
But I was with these group of people, and their leisure walk was like a power walk for me. And for 2
Mhm.
miles, I could not keep up with that pace. And it got to the point where it's like I'm falling behind, and they're still just talking, chit chatting, walking, and I couldn't keep up with it anymore. I had to slow down, and none of them even noticed. None of them noticed at all. They all kept walking,
Mm.
and they were far up there, and I was struggling, and I felt so alone because I'm in a whole new country. I have no one
Yeah.
here to talk to. Nobody even noticed that I got left behind from the group. Like, that's an incredibly lonely feeling. And by the time
Yeah.
I got back to the hotel, they have had showers, they've dressed up. They're all dressed up ready to go. And they're like, "Oh, great, you're back. We're about to go get dinner. You want to come?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah." I'm like, "Let me just get dressed real quick." And they're like, "Okay, cool, we'll meet you there." And they left. Like, didn't even give me a
Oh.
chance to say anything. They walked out. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
I think I sat down and I cried because I just felt,
It's real. It's
yeah, I
real.
felt so
'Cause
alone.
even when my family came to visit us over here, I warned them ahead of time, like,
Mhm.
get ready to walk, like, cause
Mhm.
we gonna explore a bit, we gonna see some things, and they was not prepared. And like my sister, she ended up staying in their Airbnb for like 2 days because she was like,
Oh,
this is too much. This is too
yeah.
much for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
Yeah.
don't matter. I don't think this is necessarily like a size thing. It's like what you're used to. I mean, her weight probably does contribute to how
For
much she's
sure.
able to do.
Yeah.
But shit, if she's just not as active as y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, excluding this girl like that and making her a pariah in the family, due to that is disgusting. It
Yeah.
really is. There is no shout out again to the son for actually hitting
Mhm.
up the mama and be like, apologize to my wife.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
to him because he understand like there is absolute and for real, ma'am, young ladies, daughter-in-law, if I was you, girl, fuck them up. Like,
Yeah.
don't worry about being up under them.
Yeah.
Go be with your friends. Be petty. Keep your baby away from them. I
Right.
bet
But
they'll learn then. I bet they
this
invite you to the picnics then.
this situation could have been done in a delicate manner. I mean, this mother-in-law really had to do was just sit her daughter-in-law down and be like, "Look, I don't know if you've noticed, but anytime we've gone out, you seem to be kind of
Mm-hmm.
struggling to keep up. Is there something I can do? Something that something we can come up with to help with that? Are there certain things that you can't really do that you don't, I know you want to be included, but we're going to be doing these things. And if there's something that you really don't think you could be up to, we just want you to know ahead of time so you're not feeling excluded. If you feel like you can
Exactly.
do something like this, then we're going to do it. But understand, all these other people, they're going to be at this event too. They're going to want to do this stuff. So if you feel you need to take a rest, you go on to take a rest, but we're going to continue on. We're going to look around. But we'll come back.
Yeah.
We'll see how you're doing. We'll check in. There's ways
Mm-hmm.
to have addressed this without, this was definitely a communication thing.
Mm-hmm.
And for her,
I think 9 times out of 10 it is.
it is, yeah. And for her though, again, when you're a bigger person and you have to start working out and stuff like that, it is so hard because you
Mm.
have all this weight that you're going to have to be carrying with you just to start. It is so hard to start. But you just got to do it. You got to get through it. And for a lot of
Mm.
people, it takes extreme things to get that motivation. Not everybody is just motivated right off the bat. Not
Yeah.
everybody is just like, I'm going to do this and then do it. No, it takes a lot. So you got
Mm.
to, when it comes to people in your lives, you got to find balance. You got to find you got to have sympathy and empathy for people, you know.
I was just
It
about
just
to
goes
say.
back to that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If this is someone who is important to you, which it doesn't really sound, because if you went from liking her to just not liking her over
Because of weight.
this sounds, that sounds
You
like there was
you
something
didn't like her
else.
from
You didn't like her
exactly.
from the
You didn't
jump.
like her
You
from the jump.
tolerated her from the beginning. You tolerated
Mm-hmm.
her, but you didn't really like her. So
You better get to the root of the issue, Crystal. Pastor Crystal, she be going off on some of these episodes. You better get to the root of the issue. You ain't never like Beth, and now you got an excuse to not like
not
Beth.
like her.
And your
Yeah.
little witch daughters are in it with you because they've been stirring the cauldron with your ass
Right.
since they was born. Beth, stay away from these women.
Honestly.
Stay away from them. They're not good for your self-esteem, and get yourself together. Because
Yeah.
you might have something going on. If you can't
Figure
window
it out.
shop at the small mall, you need to get it together, girl.
Yeah.
But once you do, pick and choose how you communicate with these women from now on. Don't give
Yeah.
your all to them. They don't deserve it.
Yeah, because if they also have had kids and they're not going through the same thing as you do, it's not everybody can sympathize with someone that they can't relate to. Obviously these people cannot relate to your problems. Maybe none of them seem to be having, you know, even though they're women and they probably have insecurities about their weight, even if they're not overweight, they're still having insecurities about their weight, but it's obviously not to the effect that Beth is having. And so they're just not able to relate in that way, and they're not able to sympathize because they're not able to relate. So, like Timmy said, you need to be able to be okay with not spending as much time with them as you were hoping.
Wean yourself off of them.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you, Pastor Crystal. You done gave us a word tonight. I know that's right. Oh, thank y'all so much for joining us for another wonderful episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. I have enjoyed myself this here evening. How about you, Crystal?
For sure. It's definitely nice to have a lighter episode after the last 3 episodes that we did.
I know y'all enjoyed that true crime.
Yes.
But we got to get in here. We finna get in here and cut up for a little while before we get back into our true crime bag.
But we are actively looking for the next true crime
absolutely stuff. And if you have any suggestions for us, feel free to send them to teaandcrystal@gmail.com. We would love to hear, whatever documentaries you all are watching, any documentaries that y'all want us to cover, any stories that y'all have heard in the news lately. If y'all have anything personally that y'all want to share with us, if y'all need any advice or anything, y'all can send it to that address. It's teaandcrystal@gmail.com. If you're listening to the podcast, you can also see our beautiful faces on YouTube, and you can find that by searching Tea and Crystal podcast. Crystal posts shorts over there throughout the week, so you can see what is coming up for that coming Friday's episode. You can get little sneak peeks. She also posts clips of past episodes, and we also post all of our full episodes on our YouTube page. Crystal put some good work into there, so y'all go over there and check it out. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, click the notification bell, all the stuff that you do over there on the YouTube. Go do it. You can also find us on the TikTok at Tea and Crystals podcast. Go over there, interact, leave a comment. What else do you do? You leave likes over there on TikTok?
Yep.
Yeah, leave likes and follow and tick and talk. Go find us on Facebook. We love to interact with y'all on the Facebook page. Go on Facebook and search Tea and Crystals podcast. Everything that's posted on the YouTube essentially is posted on the Facebook as well. So go interact with that. Go find us on Instagram at Tea and Crystals pod. We also have our anonymous and confession links over there on our Instagram, and we're also posting reels over there for y'all to see for upcoming episodes. Crystal, do you have anything to say to the people before we get the hell up out of here?
It's been a while since I've given my younger cousin a shout out, so I'll do that now. She owns a store called the Stone Collector. That's her little business card, and it does crystal, spiritual shop, meditation, and Reiki. She just opened a yoga studio, which is above. She is located in Massachusetts in Northborough. So if you just search the Stone Collector, you can, in Massachusetts, you'll be able to find it. She's also on Instagram at _stone_collector. And then she does have an email, which is thestonecollector.info@gmail.com. And her website is stonecollectors.com. And you can find a bunch of little crystals like you can see here. These are all from her shop. They have these. She knows what every one of them means because they all have meanings. They all do things for you. She has things like this water bottle with the crystal in it.
Crystal, before we started the podcast, what that yellow one was, because I was in love. I was like, oh, you could put that on a stand. It looked like a crescent moon, like when it's shining nice and cheesy yellow, like, oh, it's so nice.
I know. I'm gonna try to find a better way to display this now that he's given me some ideas. But yeah, so right now everything you have to be able to go to the store. She doesn't have anything online. We have talked briefly about her doing an online store, but I don't know when or if she's gonna do it because I know she doesn't really like technology. I guess I'm just gonna have to go up to Massachusetts and set that up for her or something like that. But if it does happen, I'll definitely let you guys know. But if you're in the area or if you're going through the area or anything like that, you should definitely check it out and let her know that her cousin loves her and send her some love from me.
That's right.
Her name is Vicky.
Vicky, shout out to Vicky. Vicky, when you get a chance, send me some shit in the mail, girl. Send it to Crystal House because I'm not paying for shipping. Thank y'all so much for listening. Thank you, Crystal, for a wonderful episode.
Thank you, and we will see you guys next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.